If someone had told me a year ago that I'd watch my best friend wearing the engagement ring that was supposed to be mine, I would have laughed. But that night, as I stood under the glittering lights of the Everly Hotel ballroom, the laughter had long died. They looked perfect together. He in his crisp suit, she glowing in a silver gown. And yet only I knew that everything about them was built on lies. I clutched the glass of champagne so tightly that my knuckles whitened. "Vanessa, aren't you going to congratulate them?" It was Lydia, one of our mutual friends. She smiled, oblivious to the war raging inside me. "Of course," I said, forcing a smile. "Wouldn't miss it for the world." My heart pounded as I walked toward the stage. The crowd clapped. Phones flashed. Everyone adored them. Ethan Miller and Chloe Hart, the golden couple of our friend group. I had been dating Ethan for almost 3 years. We'd even talked about moving in together. And Chloe? She was my sister in everything but blood. Or at least she had been. Until the night I found that message. It was 2 months ago. I was at Chloe's apartment, helping her pick a dress for a party. She left her phone on the bed while she ran to grab something. It buzzed. One new message, Ethan. "Same time tonight?" "She'll never find out." I froze. The blood in my veins turned to ice. At first, I told myself it had to be a joke, a misunderstanding, a text meant for someone else. But the gut feeling said otherwise, so I didn't confront them right away. I waited. I watched, and I found everything. The late-night calls, the business trips, the hotel receipts. They had been together behind my back for almost a year. So when I heard they were getting engaged, something inside me snapped, but not in the way people expected. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I planned. Every detail of tonight's event, the lighting, the stage, even the playlist, had been carefully orchestrated by me. After all, I was Chloe's maid of honor. She thought I'd forgiven her. She thought I'd moved on. But what she didn't know was that I had a folder on my phone titled Truth. "To my best friend," Chloe began on stage, smiling sweetly. "Vanessa, you've been with me through everything. I can't imagine today without you." Her voice was soft, affectionate, fake. The crowd awed. Ethan smiled at her like she was the only woman in the world. I lifted my glass, returning the smile. "Congratulations, you two," I said. "I've been waiting for this moment." Everyone clapped again, and the room buzzed with happiness. Then the event host took the mic. "And now, a special video tribute for the couple, organized by none other than Vanessa Reed." Gasps and cheers. Chloe looked at me, touched. "You did this for us?" "Of course," I replied, my voice calm. "You deserve something unforgettable." The lights dimmed. The projector flickered to life. It started with innocent pictures, the 3 of us laughing, hiking, having coffee. Chloe squeezed my hand, but then, the next clip played. It was Ethan. Shirtless, smiling, in Chloe's apartment. The next, Chloe, in his car, kissing him. Then the messages, the hotel bookings, the timestamps. The crowd's laughter turned into gasps. Chloe's face went pale. Ethan stood frozen, his jaw locked. "What? What is this?" Chloe stammered. "Proof," I said softly, stepping forward. "Proof that perfect people can be perfectly cruel." The music had stopped. The silence in the ballroom was deafening. Ethan tried to step forward. "Vanessa, stop this. You don't know what you're doing." "Oh, I know exactly what I'm doing." I cut him off. "I'm giving you both what you gave me. Public humiliation." Chloe's mother stood up from her table, mortified. "Chloe, is this true?" "It's not." But her words died as another video clip appeared. Chloe laughing with Ethan, saying, "She's too naive to ever suspect a thing." The audience gasped louder. I didn't look away. I wanted them to feel what I had felt. The betrayal, the shame, the heartbreak. The lights came back on. Everyone stared at them. The golden couple, stripped bare before their perfect little world. Ethan muttered something under his breath and stormed out. Chloe ran after him, tears streaking her face, the diamond ring glinting under the chandeliers. And me? I just smiled. Unforgettable, wasn't it? I whispered to myself. As the guests began whispering, Lydia came up to me, wide-eyed. Vanessa. That was brutal. So was watching my best friend sleep with my boyfriend, I said flatly. She didn't reply. She just looked at me with something between fear and awe. I turned toward the empty stage where they had stood moments ago, and for the first time in a long time, I felt peace. But deep down, I knew this wasn't over, because secrets like theirs never die quietly. The dinner table was silent for a full 10 seconds after those words left my mouth. 10 seconds that felt like an eternity. Evelyn's hand trembled as she set her wine glass down. What are you talking about, Sophie? She whispered, her voice low and brittle. I turned to her with an expression I'd been rehearsing for weeks, calm, collected. But beneath it, my heart was a storm. I'm talking about how this perfect family dinner is nothing but a performance, I said, glancing at Liam. And how you, Evelyn, have been keeping secrets that would ruin the whole show. The color drained from her face. Henry, my father, tried to laugh it off. Sophie, that's enough. We're not doing this right now. Oh, we are, I said, my tone sharp as glass, because I'm done being the quiet daughter. The one you lie to for her own good. Evelyn tried to stand, but Liam's nervous glance stopped her. He knew what was coming. Everyone did, except the cousins who sat frozen, forks halfway to their mouths. You want to know why I left for college early? I said, looking around the table. It wasn't because I wanted independence. It was because I found out. Henry's face hardened. Enough, Sophie. I met his gaze. No, you don't get to silence me anymore. The tension in the room was suffocating. Every breath felt like it could ignite something explosive. I found the letters, I continued. The ones you thought you'd burned. The ones between you and Aunt Lila. Gasps filled the air. Evelyn's hand flew to her mouth. Henry's eyes darted toward the study door like he could somehow hide what was already exposed. You lied to Mom for years, I said, my voice shaking now. And when she found out, you didn't end it. You covered it up. You told everyone she was unstable, that she left on her own. But she didn't, did she? No one moved. No one breathed. You sent her away, to a clinic, and you let me think she abandoned us. Evelyn whispered. Sophie, please. But I cut her off. No, Evelyn. You're just as guilty. You helped him keep it secret because you didn't want your precious image ruined. The charity dinners, the press photos, the perfect Westons. Tears streamed down her cheeks. You don't understand? I understand perfectly, I snapped. You cared more about appearances than people. Then I turned to Liam, the one person I hadn't spoken to directly yet. And you, I said, you knew. You knew everything and still looked me in the eye for years, pretending to be my best friend. His voice cracked. I didn't want to hurt you. Too late, I said coldly. I reached into my purse, pulled out a flash drive, and slid it across the table. That's everything. Every message. Every receipt. Every piece of evidence you thought was gone. Henry's hand twitched toward it, but I stopped him. Don't bother. I already sent copies to the local paper. They'll go live at midnight. Evelyn broke down, sobbing silently into her napkin. The cousins stared, wide-eyed, as the room fell apart piece by piece. Then I stood. You built this family on lies. Tonight I just returned the favor. In public. The silence that followed was louder than any scream. As I walked toward the door, Henry's voice followed me. Hoarse and defeated. What happens now, Sophie? I paused, hand on the doorknob, and looked back just once. Now, I said. Now the truth finally eats with us. And I left, leaving behind the sound of everything they'd built, collapsing like glass on marble. By the next morning, the Westons weren't just the talk of the town. They were the headline. Prominent Weston family exposed in scandalous cover-up. Daughter reveals truth at dinner. Every news outlet ran it. Every gossip site shared it. Every neighbor whispered it. And I, Sophie Weston, was suddenly the girl who had turned her family's dinner into a public reckoning. At first, I didn't know how to feel. There was a rush, a surge of power I'd never felt before. Years of being gaslit and dismissed had built a quiet rage in me, and now that rage was finally free. But revenge, even when justified, has an echo. By noon, my phone was flooded with messages. Reporters, classmates, even old friends who wanted to hear my side. Some praised me for being brave. Others called me a traitor, but I didn't care. For once, I had control. Then the calls stopped coming from strangers and started coming from my father. I ignored the first three. On the fourth, I answered, "Sophie." His voice sounded smaller, weaker. "You've ruined everything." "No, Dad," I said quietly. "You did that years ago. I just stopped cleaning up your mess." He sighed, but I could hear the guilt underneath. "You don't understand what it's like to build a family from nothing." "I do," I interrupted. "Because now I have to rebuild mine from the ashes you left." Click. I hung up. For the next few days, the fallout spread like wildfire. Henry was forced to step down from his firm, Evelyn disappeared from the charity scene, and Liam, my so-called friend, sent one last text before vanishing too. "I'm sorry, Sophie. You were right. We all deserved it. Part of me wanted to forgive him, but another part, the part that remembered every lie, every fake smile at dinner, knew that some betrayals didn't deserve forgiveness." Then, something unexpected happened. A letter arrived. No return address, just my name on the front, written in a shaky hand. Inside were 2 words that changed everything. "I'm alive." And beneath it, a return address, a small rehabilitation center 3 states away. My mother. I sat there for a long time, shaking, staring at the letter that proved every accusation I'd made was true. She hadn't left. She hadn't abandoned me. She'd been hidden, tucked away so the family's reputation could stay spotless. I drove there the next morning. When I saw her, frail but smiling, everything inside me broke and healed all at once. She reached for my hand. "You did it, Sophie. You told the truth." Tears blurred my vision. "They made me think you were gone." "I know," she whispered. "But you found me. That's what matters now." We spent hours talking, filling in years of silence with truth. Every lie they told dissolved under the weight of her honesty. And when I left, I knew this was my real closure. Revenge hadn't just exposed them. It had freed me. Weeks later, I went back to the old Weston estate one last time. It was quiet now, for sale. The once grand place stripped of its shine. I stood at the gates and said, "Good riddance." Then I walked away. No cameras, no drama, no applause. Just peace. Because sometimes revenge isn't about destroying others. It's about rebuilding yourself from everything they tried to break.